Hi there. This ASMR gaming series contains violence, profanity, gore, death, murder, starvation, slavery, and even cannibalism, but it's only a game. This video is intended for both your entertainment and relaxation, so loud sounds will be kept to a minimum. I recommend only continuing to watch this video if you're over the age of 18 and are comfortable with everything stated here. Hello, my name is Tom. This is my first ASMR video, but I don't want to make this about me. I'm testing the waters with starting my own YouTube channel, and I've always thought about making an ASMR playthrough of this game, which is my favourite game at the moment, so I'm starting as I mean to go on. This is going to be a softly spoken video for the purpose of relaxed viewing. If you don't know what ASMR is, one of the many fantastic ASMR content creators will be happy to explain what it is to you if you just search on YouTube what is ASMR. This video is going to be more about Kenshi, which is why this series will be different to any ordinary ASMR experience. There will be violence and gore, etc. on the screen. Kenshi is a game which has been in early access on YouTube for a few years. Early access gets a bad reputation for scams, problems, and unfinished projects, but believe me, this is one of the good ones, which gets a lot of effort put into it by both the developers and the modding community. I have a lot of respect for the small independent team at Lo-Fi Games, based in the UK in Bristol. What they have created here is a game which can be played as an adventure, it can be played as a city builder, or it can be played as a middle ground between RPG and strategy. There are so many places you can go to, so many places you can start building your own settlement, and there are over 20 factions you can interact with. You can play as a solo adventurer, or you can recruit with the help of a mod now, I believe over 200 characters, followers, and even without mods it's something like 30, maybe 60, I'm not sure. So Kenshi is set in a fictional post-apocalyptic setting, and it is up to the player to discover the history and lore themselves as little or as much as they want to during the gameplay. The game is currently at version 0.98, and I believe Lo-Fi Games are doing some final bug fixes before then releasing the final quarter of the map, version 0.99, which will then rightly give them the opportunity for some more bug fixing before the 1.0 full release version. And these guys have been working on this game for years. I don't expect it will end there. I'm going to be starting a new game for you guys so we can get a good idea of how the game begins. So there are a few different starting scenarios, varying between 1 and 5 characters you begin with, different difficulty circumstances with some of the factions will hate you from the very beginning of the game. For example, if you choose the Holy Sword or Son of a Captain. Rock bottom, you even start without an arm, so missing limbs already become a function of the game. I'm going to choose, I think it's called the Wanderer, yeah, the Wanderer. Look at the advanced options you can choose. I'm not going to change any of those. So this is the character creation screen. I'm going to be showing you guys a couple of the races you can get in this game. So let's probably begin with humans. So Greenlanders are your typical humans. It says here they're primarily from farmer cultures. Aggressive, easily led astray. The worst of them live in ignorance, knowing only greed and fear, reacting to anything different with hatred and violence. The best of them are some of the greatest civilized scientists, engineers and warriors in the land. So a lot of the biggest villains in the game are actually humans. It's quite an interesting take on society that this game offers. So Scorchlanders, another sub-race of human, and they tend to value personal freedoms above all else. They don't get along well with the rules, regulations and religions, and as a result have a reputation as social misfits, often found in more adventurous professions. Despite this, however, they are highly creative, making matchable traders and skilled weaponsmiths, honest to a fault, laughing in the face of manners, moderation and anything sensible. We make loyal friends, passionate enemies, and are great fun to drink with. Just flashing some of the other races on the screen for you now. So these guys are hivers. Yeah, so they're basically like insects, like ants or bees or something. They have a queen, they have these princes, and then you have workers and soldiers. I'm not going to be telling you anything more about them at the moment, but if you want to, you can obviously pause the video and have a read. Shek are a warrior culture. Good thing about them is they're not as sexist as some of the human factions. As a faction, which is the Shek Kingdom, they just like fighting people. They don't really discriminate. They obviously prefer their own race, but yeah. And then skeletons are the mystery of the game. Did humans create skeletons? Did skeletons create humans? They are basically this game's answer to robots. They are the only race that don't need to eat any food, and they are pretty hard to kill generally. So, which begs the question: are they warriors or assassins for humans? You know, were they built to kill? Probably. You'll have to find out, I guess. I'm going to be starting the game as a human Greenlander. Let's keep things familiar and simple. I'm quite tall, so I'm just going to create someone, well, tall. I wouldn't say he completely reflects me, he's already bulkier than I am. Not sure what else to change. Give him a good posture. I'm going to call him Dreamer. He's going to be dreaming of solving, spoiler alert, the biggest problem in the land, which in my opinion is slavery. So we're going to be aiming to free a lot of slaves once we are strong enough. If we're ever strong enough. Kenshi is a game that's known for how brutal it is to survive in, let alone make a difference. I am really not in the mindset of creating a character. If he doesn't look all that bad, I might just leave him as he is. Just trimmed haircut, why not? What beards are we saying? What beards do we have available? Oh, I've already messed up with the hair colour. Do I look like an old man? Yeah, I'm looking like an old man, kind of. He's in his 40s, 50s. Hasn't really achieved much with his life, but he's hoping to still make a change before it's too late. That's the profile for Dreamer. If there was a little bio box, I would enter that. There we go, that's Dreamer. Border zone. Okay, I believe I know where this is. So, let's have a look at the map of Kenshi. So, this greyed out square rectangle in the bottom right is the final quarter of the map, which is yet to be released. Everything else is playable in the game. There are lots of towns, cities, settlements, bandit headquarters, which are not yet showing on my map until I discover them. So, this, let me just do a bit of backstory. This kind of map I'm showing you now was what the game had when it was first, I'd say released, but there was another map in the old versions of this game, and then they switched the game over to this map, and you can only really go to the areas that are kind of showing here, and then they slowly released the full stretch of north to south on the western side, and then the most recent big patch was the northeast side over here. So I've played this game for a couple hundred hours on various playthroughs, trying different things. I do love this game. It's probably my favourite game at the moment, so I know a lot about it. And this area here with the green is the Holy Nation. They are a religious group, faction. They have a few cities and military bases and mining areas, and they love slavery. They pretend they don't. They have a lot of reasons for having slaves. And a lot of their slaves run away to places like this. This is the hub. It is the... I don't fully understand the organisational management structure, perhaps, but a lot of people run away here to start a new life in the ruins of whatever the city once was, which is known as the hub. And welcome, take a look around. So this is something of a pub or inn, tavern, and there are people you can speak to. Hey you, come drink with me. Hobbs? That's right, come sit with me, have a drink. Hey, have you heard the story of the Wailing Banshee? No, what's it about? Well, legend has it that it nests deep into the forest. They say it preys on lost travellers, feeds on their souls, and makes rotting loincloths out of their neck skins. Apparently survivors have told that it has a pungent potato odour and has eyes that resemble surprised truffles. There was one particular handsome man-warrior that once very nearly slayed the beast, but he choked on a boiled potato 2.5 weeks ago. My character's going to play along and be nice to this strange man. That sounds amazing. How do I find it? If I knew that, I would have tracked it down myself, but if you're going to head out in search of it, you must take me with you. Call an old dying man's last wish. You're dying? What's wrong with you? Aren't we all slowly dying in this relentless dark world? Yes, and this dying man wishes to witness that diabolical monster with his own 2 eyes. They say that if you lick one of its pinky toes, then you'll gain the power of sweet balmy immortality. Oh, and that true love smooch will transform the beast into a glorious man-cherub, whom will grant you all your deepest munchies. My character Dreamer is new to the area. He's starting to lose himself in this pub with this crazy man. I have a bad feeling about this. I don't think you're sane. Well, okay, come back for another drink sometime. Yeah, I think I was getting a bit ahead of myself there, but that's a bit of a sample of what Kenshi has to offer in terms of craziness. So let's go slightly more over the basics. So this is Dreamer. He's got his stats down here, so you can damage your limbs in places and ultimately die. You can lose arms and legs, and you have a hunger bar in this game, so it is technically a survival game. You need to find a way to feed yourself or other characters if you choose to have multiple people. So in this game you can have attributes like strength, which do a number of things: toughness, dexterity, perception. There are different weapon skills, from melee weapons types to martial arts to crossbows. And there are also other ways of making money with skills such as thieving, making things, weapons, armors, crossbow, farming, science. I've forgotten what science is, something to do with metals, making electronics. You've got robotics, which is repairs for skeletons, field medic, not just first aid and medical stuff, but actually crafting first aid kits. Dreamer is either level 1 or level 0 in everything at the moment, which is not very good. have a look at this bartender. Even he has got 24 strength, so we are way behind, which is why this game's tagline is "You're not the chosen one." You really have to fight and struggle to get anywhere in this game. You're slowly grinding your skills or waiting for your characters to run to their destination sometimes. There's no voice acting, which is why I think it's a good game to talk over. In my opinion, Kenshi is the complete single-player sandbox RPG experience. There are so many things you can do in this game, we're only getting started. These are a band of nomads. And just to mention again, this place is called the Hub. It's a faction which kind of exists, but is basically just a band of runaways called the Holy Nation Outlaws. And as you guess, they are outlaws of the Holy Nation, which are much more organised and rather right-wing religious faction which practice slavery and sexism. This place is freedom and chaos and I guess a bit of crime for these guys. They're living, they're getting by, which is more that can be said for a lot of people in the world of Kenshi. I will apologise now for my perhaps speedy zooming in and out and spinning around the map on this game. That's just kind of how I'm used to playing it. I'm going to try and make it a bit smoother for you guys to see, but unfortunately that sort of jumpy zoom is the only thing I can do. I'm trying to give you guys good camera angles for the rest of the experience. So I actually paused recording there, done for the day, yesterday, and carried on recording again only today. And there has been a patch within that period of less than 24 hours. So I had to import my save game to the new version, which is why things may be a little different, mainly with characters walking around, because as far as the game's concerned, this is technically a new world. The map's the same, Dream is the same, but we're in a new place. But in my opinion, that just goes to show how hard the developers are working on this game. It was nothing major, lots of little bug fixes, but I'm excited to see the new content coming up soon. So yeah, let's carry on from where we were. So I'll just show you some more of this town that we're in, the Hub. Let's walk over here, have a look in one of these houses, pick up this water jug. It weighs a kilogram, it is worth 30 cats, that's the currency in this game. It's cats, I can't remember what it stands for, it does stand for something. Currently have 1,000 of those. We've also got first aid kits worth 76 cats. A basic first aid kit made up of various bandages used to stop people from bleeding to death. Poor quality will limit you if it is lower than your skills, resulting in slower healing. Rag loincloth, usually worn by slaves, beggars and drifters like us. We're a drifter, we're a wanderer. Iron club. This weapon is probably a few hundred years old. Any identifiable markings have long since rusted away. So we've got some other inventory slots here where we would put our armour. And weapon 1 slot is actually a two-handed weapon slot where you would fit a crossbow or a larger weapon. So weapon 2 is actually just a sidearm. If you're using a ranged weapon and you're attacked in melee range, you pull out your sidearm. Or if you have an arm which is injured or maimed entirely, you'll switch to your one-handed sidearm, which is weapon 2. This is some of the things the game has. Mechanics of wearing a disguise, or if you're a slave, people will be able to tell that you're a slave or an escaped slave. The game factors how much you're carrying into your run speed, as you can see here, and you can get backpacks you can wear. There's also a menu for prosthetic limbs, which we do not need. So you can see here there are houses you can buy in this town, some more expensive than others. You can buy them up, fix them, you need materials to do so. And you can start to build a house, put some things in there, but it is better and more profitable to go out into the wastelands and start your own settlement where you can then farm. This is the Shinobi Thieves. This is the boss of the Thieves, and this is one of his guards. So Dreamer's going to have a chat with him. So, you want in on the Shinobi, eh? The guards tried to lay the crack down, but they ain't fooling nobody. They're nothing. Nothing a few cats can't handle. I want to join the Shinobi Thieves. You can join for a fee. That's it. I don't have to complete a test or prove myself or something. Do I look like I've got time for handing out busy work? No, this is a business we're running, not a social club. Just a one-time membership fee, 10,000 cats. So what will it be? Do you want to join the guild? What do I get in return for all that money? You get yourself allies. We have hideouts like this one in lots of major towns. We watch each other's backs. Shinobi Thieves stick together. It's a safe haven for you to rest and recover. We have specialist training equipment to use. You can sell your stolen items to our fence, and he also sells some hard to find specialist equipment at a huge discount. So what will it be? Do you want to join the guild? 10,000 cats seems a little steep. You want to use our facilities, you gotta pay for them. If you can't afford it, you're obviously not a very good thief. Fair enough, he has got a point. It's a good way of proving you're a good thief if you've got money. So I'll just have a little look inside. Hopefully they don't throw me out. Got some other ninjas, thieves, guards in here. It's technically part of the hub, but it's owned by the Shinobi Thieves, which is kind of what I meant when I said don't know who this area is owned by, because these guys seem like the most powerful faction in the town. And some of the lovely views you can get from their tower. The wastelands of Kenshi. I do recommend joining these guys. They've got some useful things here. They're training dummies for fighting, lockpicking, and assassination. So we're going off to make some money, I guess. Oh, before I do anything else, let me show you a bit about the sneaking in this game. We can at least do that without their help. So when I press sneak down here, Dreamer crouches and we get a blue eye above his head, which means no one has detected him. And the sun shows that we are in an area with full illumination, so outside daylight. And when the eye turns red, somebody has seen us. Not necessarily an enemy, but we're no longer sneaking in an undetected fashion. And yellow means caution, you're close to being discovered. So we're getting a little bit of experience from doing some sneaking around here. 15%. You can see that you level it up by sneaking with enemies around. I don't think it has to be enemies, I think it can just be anybody you're successfully undetected from. Perhaps it's a less experience than an actual enemy, but it still levels it up. You can speed up the game to make things like this less time consuming. So Dreamer's going to go for a wander around the town. Ooh, we have some dust bandits coming into town. These guys are a pretty dangerous enemy at the start of the game. We don't want them to notice us, we want to avoid them. They shouldn't really attack us inside the town, but they could. They might risk it if they think it's worth it. So I'm just going to try and avoid them, get some sneaking experience at the same time, hiding behind these market stalls. I should also mention that we've got, as I mentioned, the game is a fictional post-apocalyptic setting. We've got some fictional animals. These are called garu. They are herbivores. I believe they are wild animals, these ones. And they're just walking through. They're pretty hard to kill. They'll fight back, so that's why the bandits haven't attacked them. Not really worth the risk for them or the animals to fight each other. So we're just going to sneak past both of them. Oh, nearly getting caught here. It's alright, they're still walking off, we're okay. Some factions will fight each other randomly, whether it's animals and humans, humans and humans, other races. Factions which are a mixture of races, which is very common as well. I think we may have seen that with the Thieves just now, not sure. Have got my stealth to level 2, so we're getting some experience. So this person is a pacifier for the hounds. Ever need help smoothing things over with the hounds, you know where to find me. So I'll just show you, this is Dreamer's squad. We'll rename to just Dreamer, it's only him at the moment. So this is the factions screen. You can see the factions we've encountered so far. There will be more on here once we've encountered them. With relations with certain bandits will already start with negative, as they're going to attack us from the start of the game. And the hounds are on there now, as we've just bumped into one of their people. Let's have a chat with the barman. How can I help? Show me your goods. So we'll sell the water jug we picked up for 30 cats. There we go, 1,030 cats. Just have a little run through of what he sells. I do know what all this stuff is, but I'll just run it through with you. So this is a nice katana. It's 5,000 cats. We can't really afford that at the moment. Our club is worth 200 to give you a sort of scale of where we are compared to what this guy sells. 3,000, 5,000. These are the building materials I was talking about. You need to build and fix buildings. Basically stone. And this is iron, which is also important for building. Iron plates. You get iron ore, then you make iron plates. And water also, useful in farming. 20 cats for a barrel of water, but it's heavy, so it's not easy to transport. Let's have a look at the food. I was hoping there would be some food cheaper than this, so let's head out on our adventure. We're not starving yet. Our first steps out of the hub. Hopefully we don't get killed straight away. Just turn the interface off and just show you some of the more visual aspects of the game. So the camera can just follow Dreamer around, or any of your characters, and then switch off the interface and just enjoy the view as they run through the wasteland. So down there you can see the building we're headed to. It's, what is it? It's kind of like a bar slash trading post. Get our sneak level up a little bit. So we're hoping to find something useful to buy here, maybe it's good for our level. I don't want to spend all of our money on one item just yet. Just going to save the game. I do save the game very often. I hate losing my progress. I'm just going to speed up this a little bit. We want our sneak experience, but I don't want to waste your time watching a half-naked man slowly sneak across the desert. So, into the bar. Take a look around, customer. So, oh, these guys are trade ninjas, but the guy in here is actually tech hunters. So he's a patron from another faction, enjoying his stay at this faction's establishment. We've got Ninja Guard, Trade Ninjas, and Barman, part of the Trade Ninjas. See anything you like? Let's do business. So, there's some cheaper food. We'll get that dried meat. Just emergency rations. Wanted, the Red Bandit. Race, Greenlander, gender, male, description, ugly as a gutter and friggin' huge. Wanted for arson, robbery and extortion. Now thought to be wreaking cruelties on lost travellers of the swamps as leader of the Red Sabres. Skilled and dangerous. Reward, 10,000 cats. Well, that would get us into the Shinobi Thieves. But I don't think we're going to be taking down any wanted fugitives just yet. The Pacifier, guidance for a troublemaker. Oh boy, did I get myself in a mess. First off, I spilt my veggie bowl on noble Yoshinaga's robes. So nobles are the rich elite of one of the biggest factions in the game, the United Cities. They're a bit racist, but mostly just massive slavery users. They've got a lot of slaves, a lot of people hunting slaves for them. Anyway, so this guy managed to annoy one of the rich guys in that faction. Managed to hightail it all across the sands, all the way back to Stack, with a trail of angry samurai on my back. Then only go and speak to the high priest before being spoken to. And boy, he was not happy with me. I tried to hightail it out of Stack at that point, but tore my rags on the phoenix statue, and bore my heinous udders for all to see. Honestly, at that point, I was pretty irritated at having my sweet green fruits referred to as udders, so I stuck on the middle finger and yelled every curse word under the sun. I got thrown in a prison cage and conveniently broken out by 2 fellow ninja inmates 2 weeks later. But how could I live easy with 2 of the most powerful world factions hating my guts, you ask? Well, I did what I do whenever I need something fixed. I paid a guy in a bar to make my problems go away. Anyway, what's my point in this long-winded story? My point, friend, is that no matter what kind of bad day you're having, all problems can be solved with money. Otherwise you're pretty screwed. So here it is, a directory I've compiled of all faction pacifiers and their locations for when you're having that particularly bad day week. So there's a list there of some of the major factions in the game and where you can go to find one of their representatives who's not in their own location, so they're in another faction's location. So in theory you could go and pay off your own bounty without approaching their own cities where their guards might try and kill you. So that's why it's quite a useful thing in this game. We did see a pacifier for the hounds in the hub, it does say on there. And in this guy's story he managed to be hated by both the United Cities and the Holy Nation. So you do find a lot of books like this in Kenshi, explaining the law. It's up to you if you want to read it or whether you just want to get on with surviving in the wasteland. A lot of the books will be bounties, and you can bring bounties to, once you've captured a criminal, if you can, to one of the major factions in the game. So I'll be taking those books for future reference. I like being near this place at the start of the game. It's one of the only places I know about with beds you can use free of charge. They are kind trade ninjas who take pity on runaway slaves and let them stay here for free. So beds are good because they heal you. In this game you slowly heal over time anyway, but in a bed you heal 8 times faster, or a sleeping bag 4 times faster. We don't need to heal, so we're just going to head off into the wasteland. Well, before I do, this is a small wind generator. This is just for those of you that are interested in the city building aspect. This generates electricity. You can see how detailed some of the mechanics of the game are, with wind speed being taken into account for the amount of power output that you'll get in your settlement. So, I mean, At any point we could come across bandits or people hunting poor travellers to turn them into slaves. It's not a great place to go on your travels. So you can see over here, this is actually iron ore. So up to 3 people can mine it. It says the quality is 100, which means they'll be able to mine it at full speed. I won't go into the full details of all that, but just going to show you what happens if Dreamer was to swing his pickaxe at this ore. So you can see there's a bar here on the left which is slowly going up. When it reaches the end, we'll get 1 chunk of iron ore. This is part of the labouring skill. We're currently on 48% of level 1, 68. Nearly level 2. Nearly got the first chunk of raw iron, and there you can see we're level 2. I'm not going to bore you by sitting here mining all day, but we'll take 1 chunk of raw iron. So as you can see there, it's normally worth 90, it's worth 67 in this region, so we're going to take that and probably go sell that soon. It's one of the ways of making money, but it's much better for just being self-sustainable in your own settlement. Ooh, who's that over there? Starving bandits. Okay, so they're either early game enemies, or you can pity them because they're only attacking you because they're desperate for food. That is the sad truth of it. We're going to follow them and see what happens to them. So now sneaking at night time, I might take the opportunity to just show you the night sky, which is quite pretty. Sorry for how the landscape's moving around quite erratically. There you can see the galaxy we're part of. You see the bandits in the foreground that we are following. Should be getting our sneak level up. Oh, they seem to be approaching. Is that a camp? Whose camp's that? More dust bandits. Okay, this could be interesting. These are 2 rival groups of bandits. One of them are actually organised crime, which are the ones we're looking at now, and the others are just people desperate for food, attacking anyone who they think might have some food. So we're going to sneak up and see if there's anything we stand to gain from witnessing this interaction, and also give you a... Who's that? There's an assassin there from the Shinobi Thieves. Okay. He's not attacking... She's not attacking anyone. And yes, there's a basket helmet. It covers people from sandstorms, so it's an item you'll see people wearing. It may look funny to you now, but yeah, people make do with what they can find in Kenshi. So yeah, we're going to be following these guys carefully. I can understand why they listen up. Let's make a deal. Are they talking to the dust bandits, or I don't think they're talking to me. To us. Leave your food here. Okay, let's not get too close. And we won't slaughter you. Okay, that is a big threat from these guys. They've just got rags and sticks, and the people they're threatening actually have armour and weapons, so good luck to them. They're obviously very desperate for food. This isn't yours, meat sack. Have it your way. Oh, yeah, it looks like we're going to have a fight break out between the 2 rival bandits. Okay, let's stay back. Let's not get too close here. Don't want to get caught up in the action. You can see how gory this game is from the blood that's starting to appear on the ground where the fighting's happening. Okay, and Dust Bandits are definitely going to win this. I'm not even sure if any of them have fallen down in battle themselves. There we go, Dust Bandits won. Okay. You were warned about the brutality of this game, so... Oh, there's a Dust Bandit there. Maybe we can sneak over and take his stuff. Just go around this way. Oh, never mind, he's getting up. Okay, yeah, so he had a stomach injury which knocked him unconscious, but he's not dying, he's got back up, so... Any more Dust Bandits? They've got better items for looting. That is a starving bandit who has been chopped and shot to pieces. What can we take? Without getting ourselves in trouble. Okay, so we've got ourselves a rag shirt. A club, same as ours, we'll sell that one. I'm feeling like doing a good deed. Let's try and save this person. So you can see here, I'm not fixing their stomach, I'm stopping the bleeding, which stops it getting worse, and then it will heal over time. I'm getting my field medic skill up slowly, and this will use up some of my bandages, so speed that up. Luckily they're not paying much attention to me. I have used up half of my medical supplies, giving this bandit a chance at survival. I'm afraid that's all the good I can do here today. Dreamer can't really afford to get himself killed or lose all of his medical supplies. It's too early for that. Time to quietly take what we can from the dying bandits here and run off. This game is pretty brutal. So let's see what we can actually take from the ground here. They do have some items in this camp. There's a book here, which are quite valuable. Anything with written record is quite rare in this game, with it being a post-apocalypse. Take this wooden bowl as it's on our way out, and then you can just look on the map, right click somewhere, and your character should find a path to it. So Dreamer's now sneaking away. Survive the encounter, and we're going to be selling some items back to civilization at the hub. That'll do for sneaking. Let's run a bit faster. Enjoy the scenery. It's okay, I don't think they're not chasing us, that's fine. So that's a herd of Gary I mentioned. They're quite hard to kill this early on in the game. They don't normally attack players, humans. See the book there is worth nearly 400. Nomads are back. You can buy animals off these guys, but no use for them at this point in the game. Speak to the barman. Looking to buy? Show me your goods. So let's sell our iron ore and the clubs, that bowl and the book. So we now have 1,616 caps. It's not going to get us into the Shinobi Thieves, but it's going to be helpful for buying food, staying alive for the next portion of our journey. Maybe need to buy some more medical supplies, and Dreamer has gained a new item of clothing. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for this part. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm probably going to make a part 2 because I've enjoyed this myself. Thank you for watching.